The recent Bitcoin gains we have seen the last few days has come to an end, snapping the longest rally since December. For more on what's going on in the crypto market, I'm joined by our editor-at-large, Corey Johnson. So, Corey, walk us through the day and where the momentum is going.
Well, we don't know who the buyers and sellers are, such as the nature of buying and selling. But I think what we've seen is a bounce off the bottom. You can see it from a sort of technical basis, whatever the heck that means. But the trading in these things were certainly in a free fall in cryptocurrencies across the board. And as we've talked about many times, they were all trading in lockstep with each other, despite the important differences between the different types of cryptocurrencies, all trading together, all kind of getting a bounce. But I think we've seen a little bit of a separation between the different kinds of currencies over the course of the last week, and you can see it in the pricing of those different cryptocurrencies.
Right, and talk about how the other cryptocurrencies are tracking relative to Bitcoin.
They've separated a little bit. I mean, yesterday you saw a big bounce in, for example, I think Ripple at one point was up over 20%. Bitcoin was up a fraction of that. Today you saw a turnaround together today, but I think that there's a little bit of a separation showing up in these.
What's driving that?
Well, who knows? I mean, the notion of speculation seems to be coming in the wind coming out of the sails. The steady stream of ICOs rushing, of companies rushing out to create new coins that seem to have no purpose, rhyme, or reason, except for the few that did. And I think that there's a growing recognition of what we've talked about, which is that some of these technological solutions actually have a purpose and a point. The others that are just a store of value or a way to speculate are looking more and more silly. And I think some of that speculative steam has been taken out of the market. We're starting to look at these companies as different from each other.
Meantime, Japan's Coincheck, which had frozen withdrawals after that theft, started allowing them again quickly. $373 million was withdrawn. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that that was another thing. Is the notion that there's a greater fool out there, that if I could buy this thing, someone's going to buy it for more later, was broken by that problem of this notion of this currency that few had ever heard of before, losing hundreds of millions of dollars in value. And the idea that something like that could even have that kind of value, I think, comes as a surprise to a lot of other people. But the people involved in it must have known on some level that this thing that they were buying, they were only buying it so they could sell it to someone else. I also think it's kind of a failure of what we do as journalists sometimes, is talk, and I mean all of us in the community of journalists, not me and you, of course, but the talking about stocks as if they go up because someone else, because they should go up, or they go down because they're going down, and not talking about intrinsic value, and not talking about the businesses that underlie them. That leads to speculation because it leads to people not knowing what they're doing and why they're buying things. And when we think about cryptocurrency as an investment, or we think about equity as an investment, or we think about debt as an investment, we need to understand what the underlying thing is that we're investing in, and then it starts to make sense what the price might actually be.
What do you think regulators are learning from fiascos like what we're seeing with Coincheck?
Well, I think that we've heard different things, but I'm actually pleased to hear what I hear from some regulators, which is the notion that they're not all the same, and that regulation can protect investors from the shams and the crooks and let real companies flourish with a light hand where protections are needed and maybe regulations aren't.